Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D'Lo and I've got another video for you guys today. I am actually going to talk with you guys about the Black Widow teaser trailer and how exciting this is. This is not my first watch through, but I will watch it with you guys. I'm going to give you guys my exact thoughts, my feelings, and things that I expect from this movie, things that I noticed in this trailer. There's so much going on. It is a really cool trailer, I will admit. But let's watch it together. Let me go ahead and switch over my screen real quick. What's up, guys? I've got it loaded up here so that we can watch this thing together. If you have already seen this, just go with me on this. Join me in the chat. Let me know what you guys have to say about it. Forgive my voice right now. It's a little bit different. I've got a little bit of a cough right now. I woke up this morning sounding like Optimus Prime, and it's just a weird thing that happens when I get a little bit under the weather. My throat just hits the floor. So bear with me on that. But let's go ahead and just talk. We'll watch this trailer. We'll talk about it. We'll watch it all the way through. Then we'll go back and we'll kind of just jump through it. Pause and talk, pause and talk. I'll give my brief comments and whatnot. So let's go ahead and just get right into this. Used to have nothing. That's a scene from Age of Ultron, I believe. That's the Avengers. I love that they put the Black Widow logo there. There's Thunderbolt Ross. I think that's the 4th or 5th time we've seen Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU. There she is. Look, they got the same moves as one another. I love that they went with the hard Russian accent. I love that. There's the third chick. That's the white suit right there. Woo! Oh my gosh, Taskmaster. We got Red Guardian. I love it though. He's a scrapper, brawler. Oh, dude. Oh, that part's so cool. Dang. Dude. All right, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to pause it. I want to talk with you guys about this really quick. I'm going to kind of skim through it and give you guys my thoughts as we go. I'll pause it and break it down. I don't want to talk too long. I know it's a little bit difficult right now with my voice the way that it is, and I don't want to linger too long so that you guys get dragged along through this. But there is a lot going on here, and I wanted to point out a number of different things that we see in these shots. Some of them are very brief, but even starting out here, guys, this right here is this is the watch. Let me see. I can find it. This is the place that they talked about Clint Barton and her going back. What was that? What was the name of the place? I just blanked on the place. The place they mentioned in Avengers. In Avengers, they mentioned what's it called? Does it start with a B? I don't know. I'm blanking anyway. But forgive me on that, guys. But this is the location that they were referencing. Like, we need to go back. Like, you need to tell me about that one place. Ah, frick, this sucks. Let's go ahead and just start. So we start here. I don't want to drag that on too long, but here we see her looking at herself. This is kind of a foreshadowing of what is going to happen, I believe, in the movie. Is she's looking in the mirror and she's trying to reconcile who she is. She's trying to look at herself, and she doesn't recognize the person that she sees in the mirror for a number of different reasons. And then it jumps immediately in the trailer to show us the Red Room. So this is her looking into the Red Room, and I think these right here are clips from Age of Ultron. And I think this movie is going to jump from time to time to time, showing us all of the different points in time where we have seen Natasha in the MCU so far. And the adventures she's gone on with the Avengers, but most of them, except for Clint, and even Clint, don't know really who she is and where she's come from, the abuse that she's taken, the machine that they turned her into. Like, for instance, Bucky, we know that he was the Winter Soldier. He was brainwashed, but he was brainwashed as an adult. We're talking about someone whose entire life they've been brutalized, sexually assaulted and all trafficked. They were human trafficked. That's what these young girls were. That's what the Red Room was. It was a trafficking program that would train these young kids, little girls, to become assassins. And the reason they call them Black Widows is because a Black Widow spider, it mates and then it kills its mate as food for its the next generation. It eats the man. Black Widows were trained as little girls to basically perform almost as prostitutes and as spies and as assassins, so that they could get close to people in power, political leaders, the rich, the powerful, and then they would seduce them often. And then when they're in compromised and vulnerable positions, kind of like what we saw in, let me see if I can find... like what we saw in the beginning. You see how they kind of hinted at the sexualization of Black Widow here. Let me pull up my other screen. You guys see this? Remember that scene, the interrogation scene in the beginning of Avengers 1? It was a great scene. It's hilarious. It's action-packed. It's awesome. That was the second time we really got to see Black Widow kick some butt. It was at the very beginning of Avengers, and the Russian guy is interrogating her, but really she's interrogating him. She lets him think she's just some gorgeous damsel in distress that is then also trying to, I don't know, he's going to beat her up and then who knows what. But she wants to be there. She's trained to be there. She's trained to control those scenarios. And so for her... she's been doing this since she was a kid. So there's a lot of darkness that there's probably going to be in this movie. They probably won't be as explicit and show a lot of that because obviously these are going to be PG-13. But it's really important that we have this kind of context, looking at all of the different things that she's gone through. She's reflecting back on these things. She's probably battling in her mind, I'm not really the good guy. What am I doing here? I'm an assassin. I'm a killer. What is happening? And so those types of things, I think we're going to see a lot of. Let's continue. That's a lot for one little frame. You see the dancing. This part right here, I'm going to go back. You see, let me take this one screen down so that you guys don't have to be bothered by that image. But we have here, when she's training, she looks like she's probably the oldest person in this room, maybe by a couple of years. But the two ladies you see behind her are blonde. This could very well have been Yelena Belova. Yelena Belova is the blonde played by Florence Pugh. And she is very likely going to be the ongoing Black Widow. If my theory pans out, I think the MCU is going to introduce the Black Widow again into the MCU as Yelena Belova, because we know from Avengers Endgame, spoilers, she's dead. So if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, you have no excuse. You should have seen it by now. As far as, because it's already out on DVD, it's already out on streaming, you missed it. So that's all I got to say. But as far as this movie, the reason it's a flashback is because she's no longer alive in primary continuity. So stories going forward, Avengers or Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, all the Disney Plus series, they're not going to have her, but they can have other Black Widows. And that's what I believe they're going to set up in this film. Not only is it going to be her film, it's about her, it's also about Yelena, and it's also about other characters that are going to be introduced. Probably Taskmaster is going to survive, I bet, is going to continue on, maybe even be one of the villains in Spider-Man 3. Would be really cool to see. But I do believe that Yelena Belova will continue as the primary Black Widow ongoing, but she will be a villain. She's going to stay a villain, but she'll be a recurring villain, kind of like Loki. And that's my take. That's what I would like. That's what I would like to see. That's what I think would be the most consistent with comic book story. I mean, I'm sure they have no problem retconning her and making her like a more edgy version of Nat, where she's not loyal, doesn't really take orders as well, and because she has that dark side to her, she wants to be a free agent as opposed to being part of the family. So yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing here. We saw that in Age of Ultron. We see this again. This right here is the shot of, I believe this is Captain America and Hulk walking into Nick Fury and the Avengers, but it's kind of from, they're trying to tell the story from her perspective. So this is all flashbacks, right? So we're looking at her. She looks back and you see all the agents, you see Nick Fury, and you see Cap and Hulk right here. And then it goes again to her and Barton talking Budapest. That's what it was. So they were talking about Budapest. So let me just go back to this in the beginning. This shot is Budapest. That's what I was trying to say earlier, guys. Sorry for the brain fart there. So let me come back to this part. We can keep going. Here we've got, let me see, Nick Fury again. She's dropping down. That to me kind of looked like the SHIELD facility, the helicarrier that went down, but from Avengers 1. But it probably isn't, because that wasn't, I don't think that was a moment that would have actually happened, because we pretty much saw her the whole time. But I think that this is going to be a new scene. Let's keep going. Just a possibility. Just a thought. So then here. Never easy these days. I really like the music. Let me just pause it right here. Thaddeus Ross. So if you guys don't know who he is, he was in Civil War. He was in the Hulk. He's in a bunch of the MCU films, and he has been now, I think, in 4 or 5 of them. This one will probably be 5 if I'm not mistaken. But he is not just the father of Betty Ross, and he's not just a military general, and he's not just a political leader of the United States of America. He is also the Red Hulk, if you didn't know. So he becomes the Red Hulk as in his pursuit to defeat the Hulk and protect his daughter from the Hulk. He makes himself the ultimate weapon to take down the Hulk. But he ends up also leading the team, the Thunderbolts, which also includes Baron Zemo, who's getting much more of a platform in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It as well as the Winter Soldier is part of that team at one point or another. A lot of people that have been in the MCU as ancillary villains have been on that roster before, but I won't get too deep into that. I'm just really excited to see whether or not they do a Red Hulk at some point. I don't think they're going to do that in this movie, but down the road, I think there will be plans for this guy. Cool that they're doing the de-aging on him too. She says she's done running from her past, and now we see her running into this room. Since we've already seen this part of the scene, we see her encounter. There. You see how they pull them out at the exact same time. You see how they both step around the corner, and then they lock and load, and they're ready, aiming exactly the same way. Their facial structures are pretty similar too. That's by design. They're doing this on purpose to show that their moves are exactly the same. Watch what happens here. They both steal each other's gun at the same time, using the same moves, the same side steps and rotations. Same exact move. You see they both kicked with the same leg? They've both got counters to everything the other one does. They both have counters to everything that they do because they know they were trained the same way. And specifically in the comics, Yelena was a little bit younger than Natasha. Natasha came up first, and she was the ultimate weapon of the Red Room. She was the prime Black Widow. They're all Black Widows, but she was the main Black Widow. She was the baddest of the bad, but she also kind of had a little bit of a heart. Just a touch. So Clint Barton was able to rescue her and then pull her out and show her a new way. That's why Clint and her have such a special relationship. He got her out. He got her out of that life. Yelena never really wanted out. Yelena's goal since she was a kid was she was told she would never be good enough to be or beat the Black Widow, which is Natasha, but she was raised and beaten almost every day of her life so that she would be better than Natasha, and that she would beat her and defeat her in battle, in combat. So Yelena's primary goal growing up in the comics was, my role is to supersede and defeat and kill the new Black Widow and become Black Widow. I am going to become Black Widow, and to do that, Natasha must die. And she doesn't have much of a heart. She feigns a heart because that's what Black Widows are trained to do. The only one that seems to actually have a hint of heart is Natasha. So the rest of them they're pretty much destroyed. They're broken humans. They are assassins to the core. They will cut you. They will kill you. You're done. And that's what the Black Widow does. They're deadly, and they're poisonous, and you can't trust them. And so the only one that we've seen and grown to know and trust is Natasha. In the comic books, that's pretty much the case as well. Yelena is a stone cold killer, as much as all the others, but worse, because she does eventually become better than Natasha. She does eventually become the new Black Widow, and she, I think, is going to become the MCU's new big, not big villain, but consistent villain. She's going to become an agent for hire, an assassin for hire. The Red Room program maybe officially still running, maybe is just a thing of the past at this point. Maybe they destroy and shut down the Red Room, but she's still going to exist. I can almost bet money on that now. And I'm pretty confident with that. They got a great actress for this role. And I think that this movie is going to be just as much a film celebrating Natasha as it is setting up the next Black Widow, who will be different because she's not a good guy. That's what I think. And that's based on the comic book precedent. So let's continue. I love this. I really like the music. See, there's the third one. I forget what the actress's name here, but there's 3 of these Black Widows here on the pillar. It looks like it's Nat. It looks like it's Yelena. And then the third one, I can't remember her name. She'll probably be the one to die. I'm going to guess it's that dark-haired one's going to die. And Yelena's going to live. In fact, Yelena might be the one to kill the black-haired one. There we go. Here's that white suit. So this one I wanted to talk about a little bit. I'll pull up the tall display here so you guys can see this, and I'll click over here so you guys can check this out. But we have I googled the white suit here. We have Bill Roseman saying, "Yep, it's from Black Widow: Deadly Origin #2, edited by yours truly," because he worked on the comic. A variant cover was requested, so I asked the amazing Adi Granov to take his regular cover and change Natasha's signature suit to white. And then you click here, it takes you here. This is the image up close. You can already see from the trailer that that's what it is. But here's the cover with the special cover, the secondary cover. Originally it was this one, and then he requested this one special to have the suit switch to white, and a lot of fans really like that. That's from this series, The Deadly Origin. But look at the characters that are in this series as well. You're talking about Wolverine, talking about Winter Soldier. These are some really hardcore characters. And then here's a little bit closer so you can see that image. And then yeah, like the Red Room, and she was dressed in white when she met Tony Stark in the boxing ring. She was meant to be seducing him. Good news was she wasn't gonna kill him. She wasn't Black Widowing him, but she was spying him. And so she was there on behalf of Nick Fury. A lot of fun for that one. Just a quick thought on that. It was really fun to see that they added that Deadly Origin white costume for this one, especially because it works with the setting. If you're in Russia, you're not going to walk around in the snow in a black suit. You walk around in the snow in a white suit so you don't get seen. It's called camouflage. So yeah, I think that is really, really cool. I think it looks awesome. It kind of looks to me like a stormtrooper suit, which is high praise. I really like that. So you might not like that, but I like that a lot. So I'll go ahead and shut this display down until we need it again, And let's go on. We're almost done with this trailer, a little bit longer. But this is where they start to pick it up. See, there's the red room. This is the dark-haired. I think this is going to be the dark-haired chick that's going to be the secondary or third Black Widow that's going to be like having lines and stuff. But I bet all of them are probably going to die. I bet almost all of them are going to get killed. Okay, so this is tight. We got Taskmaster here. Now, a lot of people online, including myself, were speculating that this character wasn't going to be Taskmaster when all we had to see were those unfinished shots without any CG updating, editing, cleaning everything up. Because you couldn't see a lot of the orange in those shots. You could only see the blue and the silver. I wanted to point out this. So let me go ahead and jump over to the other display. Darkhawk. So there's a character in the comics called Darkhawk. I'm not going to get too much into his origin story. A lot of his stories are cosmic. He ends up doing a ton of cosmic stuff. But his suit looked a great deal like what they did here with this Taskmaster version. Taskmaster's mask is traditionally a skull-like shape. And it's been, in this version, done a little bit close, like it's got a more open-faced visor, and I think that kind of takes away from the skull look a little bit, which I think the visor is probably the only reason I'm not like super sucked in by this look. But other than that, I mean, yes, it looks like Darkhawk, but this is definitely Taskmaster, and I think we're seeing him here having picked up the skills of Clint Barton. So I'm betting that Clint Barton has already encountered Taskmaster at this point. Taskmaster's adapted to his skills and learned his skills, because that's his superpower, is that he has what's called photographic reflexes, which means that if you do something, a skill, a move, a talent, an ability, he can copy it. Aside from superpowers themselves, he can copy it. So if the Black Widows have trained their entire lives to learn the skills they have, the fighting skills, they fight him for 1 second, they do their best move on him, he already figured it out and he can already do it. So that Taskmaster, he learns. So I'm guessing he's using the bow because he's already come across either A, an archer at all ever in his life, or B, Clint Barton, one of the best archers ever. So, and then that might be why Clint Barton was in Budapest in the first place to encounter the Black Widows. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. So I'm going to go ahead and push this aside. Again, guys, it's not Darkhawk. I just wanted to point out the visual similarity. Let me go ahead and just click on this so you guys can see that this was... Let me see if I can open this in a new tab. Let me see. That's kind of small. Sorry. Let me see if I can find a bigger one. Will this do? It's a little bigger. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm going to shut that one off. Let's go and finish this video. So we've got a few more thoughts here. So we've got... That's Red Guardian kicking down the door. So this is David Harbour's character, Red Guardian, Alexei. And he was basically a Russian Captain America. They tried a bunch of different organizations were trying to get the super soldier serum nailed down. In fact, a lot of American agencies were trying to do it as well. After the super soldier serum had been destroyed, it was memorized by only one person, which is Black Cat's father. But that's not these guys. And this is different even than Hydra. So you talk about like Winter Soldier was deep cover Hydra in Russia. But Alexei and these guys were the Red Room. So the Red Room was a different organization from what created the Winter Soldier, but these are the guys that created the Black Widows. So Alexei's part of that group. They tried their own Captain America formula. Some of them didn't take, some of them did take. And I think their version is supposed to be where he's slightly stronger. I think he's probably stronger than average, but not Captain America's level for sure. So I think that's what this guy is. So he's like, he's strong, he's a fighter, he's just not all the way strong. Still fits. That's great. I just want to point out this sass face right there is great. Okay, so this is where we get into some more things to talk about. So it's jumping around quite a bit. Let me see if I can. Do you see the shield on the ground there? I wanted to go back here. Come on. Okay, that shield. Do you see how it kind of has that little like shape? It's kind of like curved like that, and it's red. That shape right there is the Taskmaster logo. It's not like the Black Widow where it's just in the middle, just one, but it's a triple. So it kind of creates a T shape almost. And that's the Taskmaster logo. So that's one of the primary reasons we can assure ourselves that this is definitely not Darkhawk. Also being that Darkhawk is usually operating on a cosmic scale, or in you know, he does fight on Earth as well, but a lot of his stories are in space. Taskmaster is grounded. Taskmaster is on the Earth. And so I think this is very clear, very obvious. It is Taskmaster. It's a good fit. He's got history with Captain America. He's got history with the Russians. He's got history with all of these guys. And I think it's pretty obvious at this point. But it's pretty cool that he's using a shield too. I really like that he's going for a shield, especially because, you know, Red Guardian was developed by the Russians to be their equivalent to Captain America. So even though Alexei doesn't appear to have a shield, Taskmaster does. So we're going to see some shield action for sure. Even if David Harbour's character picks it up and bashes him with his own shield or something. We'll see how this goes. But very few people can beat a long fight with Taskmaster because he just keeps learning your moves. So, yeah. This shot is sick. Nothing really special to say about this as far as like references, but I really like this shot. I really like that they're doing this kind of sky bombing assault. It looks so cool. And that exit right there where they highlight all the red and everything else is black. It's themed. It's Black Widow, but it's good. I like that. I really like this style. I'm really excited for this, guys. I love where they're going with this. I love what they're doing. I love the cast. I think that this is the kind of movie that almost everybody wanted around 2012. So when the Avengers came out, everyone was like, where's the Hawkeye movie? Where's the Black Widow movie? Why aren't they getting a film? When are we going to see this? Are they going to confirm this? We had to wait like 8 years basically to get that, or I think it was like 6 years to get confirmation, and then, you know, something like that. But holy cow, like, I know I've been waiting for this movie for a very long time. And yes, I always thought it would be a movie that was in continuity, that it would carry the stories forward instead of go backwards. But I don't have any problem with a prequel if it's done right. So this, to me, obviously this is a trailer. It's not the actual finished product. So we don't know if this is going to be legit or not, but it looks really good from the trailer, in my opinion. I have a friend, Jessie. She was like, hey, she's like, I don't know, it kind of looks like all the other Marvel movies. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Because to me it totally doesn't. To me, it looks like the Winter Soldier, which I love. I love the Winter Soldier. It's one of a kind, unlike any of the other films in the MCU, and it's it's usually in everybody's top 3 MCU films, because it's done so well, and it being so grounded and not needing a ton of CGI and just work on the fight scenes, it really stood out. And that was what was awesome about the Winter Soldier. This looks a lot like that. Other than the one Skyfall shot, this pretty much looks like a great grounded story with not as much CGI. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be tons, big action sequences, bikes and cars flipping over, trucks, tanks even. Taskmaster rode into Budapest in a tank. That's insane. That's crazy talk. But I'm really excited. I think this, it has all the right feels. It hits all the right marks. I'm really excited to see Taskmaster. I like that villain a lot. He's kind of like a Deathstroke for Marvel, and I know what you're thinking, Deadpool's Marvel's Deathstroke. He's clearly the literal actual ripoff of unabashed, unashamed ripoff of Deathstroke. Yes, I know. But practically, Taskmaster functions similar to Deathstroke because almost nobody can beat him in hand-to-hand combat. He is a weapons expert in almost every weapon known to man. And he's been a villain for a very, very long time, fighting almost everybody. Like Spider-Man, Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Captain America, like you name it, pretty much Taskmaster's gone up against him. And he wears a mask. His character's vaguely was for a long time vaguely shrouded in mystery, and a lot of fun. I really like the color scheme, except for instead of black and orange, Taskmaster is blue and orange, which is closer to the original colors of Deathstroke anyway. Deathstroke was originally blue and orange. So, yeah, love it. But Deathstroke's was like a lighter orange. Anyway, not important. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with this trailer. Excited. I think that this whole film, the whole thing is setting us up for Yelena Belova to take over the mantle, because we already know that in current continuity, the Black Widow Natasha Romanoff is dead. She's died, and she's not coming back. But what we can expect is that either it's going to be Yelena Belova takes over as the new Black Widow. Maybe she's going to reunite with the Avengers or cast members of the Avengers in the future. In an upcoming film, we'll see her again. We'll see Taskmaster again. We'll see Thunderbolt Ross, some secret project he's working on here. Maybe he is already the Red Hulk and he's just been keeping it under control for this whole time. We don't know, but I would love to see what they're doing here. It looks like they're stirring up some mayhem because there's a lot of moving pieces and parts, even just in this trailer. So I'm excited. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. If you guys want to support my channel, all you have to do is ask. You just like, share, subscribe, comment. Those 4 things are free for you, but they mean the world to me. They're going to help promote my channel, get me noticed, recognized, get me to 500 subscribers. And if you want to support me financially, if you want to support me and also maybe get some merch for yourself, visit the link in the description below. tpublic.com/user/the stuff of legend will take you to my merch shop where I've got a bunch of nerd-based designs for you. I've got all kinds of like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Supernatural, Power Rangers, all kinds of designs that I've done for you. Over 200 designs, plus my own The Stuff of Legend designs, my Fan of Much Fiction designs, and all the things that are native to my channel. So you guys can check those out. Oh, also plus all the Mandalorian merch that I've done. Artwork is there for you guys, so you guys can get tees, mugs, hoodies, tanks, pillows, tote bags, sweaters, you name it, you know, like journals, bags, all kinds of fun stuff, wall art, posters, canvases. That's how you can support me financially, is by getting merch for yourself, and I get a piece of your donation. So that is greatly appreciated. But hey, if you don't got the money, don't worry about it. That's fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Those are all free for you, and I appreciate it very much. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. My throat is dying, so I'm going to go take a lozenge, and I'll see you guys next time right here on The Stuff of Legend.